In a land where two worlds meet, Istanbul tells its story in colors and sounds. This city, a beautiful blend of history, and now sings in the soft hum of the Bosphorus waves. Here, every street, with its whispers and echoes, is a chapter from an old book, each page brimming with tales of wonder. As the sun sets, painting the sky with shades of hope, Istanbul, with its blend of the old and new, feels like a gentle dream, a dance of life and time. Where the melody of life plays, there lived a man named Muaharrem. His world was different, wrapped in silence. But his story is one that speaks volumes about the power of community and kindness. Muaharrem's life in the bustling city of Istanbul was one of quiet perseverance. Deaf since birth, his world was one of silent observation, where the vibrant noises of the city were replaced by the vivid expressions and gestures of those around him. His sister Aslim was his bridge to the world, translating the unspoken into sign language, the language of his heart. Each morning, Muaharrem would step out into the narrow, cobbled streets of his neighborhood. He was a familiar figure, known for his gentle smile and the kind nods he exchanged with the shopkeepers and passers-by. Yet, despite the warmth he received, there was always an invisible barrier, a silent chasm that separated him from the rest of the world. One sunny morning, as Muaharrem and Aslim walked their usual route, a subtle change began to unfold. The local baker, Mr. Kamal, whom Muaharrem knew by sight, greeted him not with the usual wave, but with fluent sign language. Surprised, Muaharrem responded, and a small but significant conversation ensued. It was a simple exchange about the weather, but to Muaharrem, it was a profound connection he had never experienced before. As they continued their walk, this scene repeated itself, with more neighbors, shopkeepers, and even strangers engaging Muaharrem in sign language. Each interaction was a revelation, a blooming of joy and disbelief in his heart. For the first time, he was not an outsider looking in. He was part of the melody of life that played around him. Unbeknownst to him, this beautiful orchestration was a carefully planned event by Samsung, aiming to promote their new technology for the hard of hearing. They had secretly trained the residents in sign language, transforming the neighborhood into a world where Muaharrem could communicate freely. The emotional zenith of Muaharrem's journey unfolded in a moment of pure serenity. As he and Aslim meandered through the sun-kissed streets, a young girl, a mere stranger in the flow of familiar faces, approached him. With the grace of a silent butterfly, she raised her hands and signed, "Have a beautiful day." In that instant, time seemed to pause. Muaharrem, struck by the depth of the moment, felt a surge of emotions. Tears welled up in his eyes, spilling over in silent streams. The world around him, once cloaked in silence, burst into a symphony of unspoken words. It was as if the very soul of the universe had reached out to him, speaking in the language that his heart understood best. Her simple message, conveyed through the dance of her fingers, was more than just a greeting. It was a profound affirmation. In that ephemeral exchange, Muaharrem felt an overwhelming sense of belonging. The silence that had once been his constant companion was now filled with the melodious whisper of connectivity. The message was clear and resounding. You are not alone. In this fleeting interaction, the young girl had unknowingly painted a masterpiece of empathy and connection, leaving an indelible mark on Muaharrem's heart. This extraordinary day forever changed Muaharrem's perspective. He realized that the silent wall separating him from the world was surmountable, that his silence did not mean isolation. His story became a beacon of hope, showcasing the transformative power of empathy and inclusiveness. It resonated far beyond his local community, touching hearts across the globe. In this journey, Muaharrem taught us an invaluable lesson. Our smallest actions, the gentlest gestures of understanding and compassion, can weave a rich and vibrant tapestry of human connection. Each interaction, each moment of empathy, adds a unique and irreplaceable thread to this tapestry, creating a masterpiece of communal harmony and warmth. Muaharrem's experience is a poignant reminder of our shared humanity, urging us to look beyond our differences and embrace the power of connection. It's a call to action to each of us to be the architects of a more understanding and inclusive world. In the language of the heart, every act of kindness echoes, crafting a narrative of hope and unity that inspires generations. Muaharrem's journey from isolation to inclusion is a poignant narrative that resonates deeply with anyone who has ever felt different, alone, or misunderstood. His story is not just a celebration of human connection. It's a powerful testament to the unspoken language of the heart, a language that transcends barriers, breaks down walls, and builds bridges of understanding and empathy. In this beautiful tapestry of life, Muaharrem's experience weaves a vivid thread, reminding us that in the heart's silent conversation, there are no strangers. Every person we meet is a friend waiting to be discovered, a story waiting to be heard, and a lesson waiting to be learned. His story inspires us to open our hearts, to embrace the beauty in our differences, and to find the courage to connect with others, even when words fail us. In this narrative, we find a powerful call to action, to look around, to reach out, and to forge bonds of friendship and understanding. It's an invitation to celebrate the diversity of the human spirit and to remember that in the grand symphony of life, each of us has a unique and essential part to play. Let us carry Muaharrem's message forward, nurturing a world where every soul feels seen, heard, and valued. For in the language of the heart, every encounter is an opportunity to touch a life, to change a story, and to make the world a little warmer, a little kinder, and a lot more connected. In Istanbul's embrace, where stories weave, lived Muaharrem in a world of silent Eve. His days, a quiet ballet of unspoken grace in a bustling city's ceaseless embrace. His sister, Özlem, a guiding star so bright, translated the world in gestures, banishing night. Yet a chasm lingered, wide and unseen, between Muaharrem and the world's bustling scene. Then dawned a day, unlike any other, when neighbors spoke, heart to heart, with one another. In signs and smiles, a silent chorus grew, a tapestry of kinship in empathy's hue. From baker to stranger, each apart, wove a message straight from the heart. In the language of signs, they spoke clear and loud. In a world of silence, connection unbound, the walls that once stood, tall and grim, crumbled under the power of a simple whim. For in each gesture, a bridge was built, dissolving the shadows of isolation and guilt. Muaharrem's heart swelled with unspoken words as his silent world joined the flock of birds. A symphony of kindness in silent refrain proved in the heart's tongue we're all the same. In this story, a lesson rings true and clear, empathy's whisper for all to hear. No matter how silent one's world may seem, there's a language of hearts, a universal dream. For in the language of the heart, so pure and so bright, there are no strangers, just friends out of sight. In every encounter, a chance to sow seeds of kindness, letting warmth and understanding grow. So let us take from Muaharrem a tale so dear. In our hearts, let his message steer. To listen with empathy, to speak with our soul, in the language of the heart, we're all whole.
I